Hey, folks, welcome into the live episode of the What the Futures podcast. Of course, recorded each and every week in the UPL studio. I was supposed to do this earlier today. All right, I was supposed to do the live here at 1 o'clock Mountain Tuesday afternoon, and I did not get there. I think we may have to work this one into the evenings now. We'll see. Honestly, I have a toddler who is deciding not to nap anymore. Normally, you just put him down at 12-ish, go down for a few hours, have his big boy nap, be good for the afternoon. But those days are numbered here, and that's why I couldn't get on the get on this stream here this afternoon. All right, it's also been it's been crazy busy from a consulting side. All right, it's been a busy couple of weeks here. It's been an extremely busy couple of days, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on when it comes to harvest and when it comes to crop marketing right now. So yeah, this live stream is brought to you by the Lunchbox crew. You can check out those details, ryandenny.ca. It's my spin on crop marketing. All right. Well, Denis Farms started harvest today. I don't know if we are supposed to ring a bell or I know you're supposed to put on your shiniest, cleanest hat, right? Because you got to shred that guy at the end of harvest. But we have started harvest today, Tuesday, August 19th. The green peas are coming in, and I'm not going to say anything else. I don't want to say that it's been going okay or anything like that. I don't want to jinx it. But we're off to the races. It's a little dusty out there, bringing in some dirt with those peas as well. But we're going. All right, we're off to the races. I don't know if it's going to be a bit of a start stop type of a harvest here for 2025, but it seems that way. But we'll see. We'll see how we go. Do some peas, switch over to some malt barley, and then hopefully have some wheat ready. But might be a little delay there. Harvest is, we had a dry start to the growing season. Obviously, dryness across the prairies into the middle of June, and then all of a sudden now we have moisture events and rain events. And in fact, north of Edmonton, Alberta, yesterday was a pretty significant hail event as well. Those late August hail events. And it's very humid out. I don't have to tell you guys this. It's been a kind of an interesting start to harvest here. We're hearing, some downgrading in the durum crop. We're hearing of some downgrading in the malt barley crop. It's like I said last week, it's the crops that were ready to go that got these big rains on them, and you expect, to see some of that. Where I reside here, I was on the road today. There's a lot of green crops yet. A lot of green crops. It's going to be a September harvest for many in this region. Doesn't mean that, peas and stuff won't start next week, but it's a little bit delayed. So I was scrambling over the last couple days here, over the last weekend, to get my harvest playlist ready to rock and roll. Just realizing that, hey, even though it's green around me, people are out there harvesting. And Ryan, you got to get on it, right? You got to get on it. So if you go to YouTube Music, it's if you want to search the playlist, it's What the Futures #Harvest 2025. Now, I have these playlists. I started these back in, I don't know if it was 2019 or 2020, but you could go, if you type in What the Futures, you're going to get Harvest 24 would pull up, Plant 25, Plant 24 will pull up. I even have some older ones as well that go back. I'd have to find some of the titles here. But even if you search me, you might pull them off. I got Harvest 21, just popped up. Plant 21 is in here as well. Anyways, folks, there's a wide variety of music in there. I'm going to mention my song of the week here every time I record. And I think for today, man, it's hard to pick in the first week, right? It's hard to pick the song that stands out. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go. Let's go with Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. Let's start with that. I think that's a good picker upper for those of you that are you maybe having a tough go out there, maybe having a rough day, maybe a rough pass in the combine. Maybe you're out there spraying these darn bugs, these Bertha army worms. We had to spray on our farm. I don't know if you had to spray as well, but we had to spray for Berthas here. We didn't want to. Nobody wants to be out there doing this darn thing. But the videos that I've been receiving with the worms crawling all over the sprayers, it's been active. I've chatted with people in all parts of the prairies, and there's a lot of bug activity, lots of Bertha activity out there. And unfortunately, we also had to get out and do a bit more spraying here. But yeah, there's a little bit of a theme here on social media. And I just want to say it's commodity prices, tough going out there. Harvest, I don't know what we'll get for yields. I know on our farm we're expecting less, but we'll see. But I just want to plug these great hats designed by Paisley. Like there is some help out there if you are having a tough moment, and you can reach out to them. The Farmer Crisis Helpline, mental health helpline, 1-866-FARMS with an S 01 24/7. I just noticed on social media here the last couple days, it's tough going out there for many, and I just want to highlight that's a resource that you can use and reach out to. They know about farming. All right. In fact, I had a meeting with the CCAW this week, and we were chatting with some farmers in Ontario that are part of that team. So all I'm saying is if you're having a tough moment, there's a resource for you. All right. Okay. Before I get too much further along here, and I'm not going to spend too much time here. We got a big episode coming out Friday, right? We got a whopper of an episode back in studio. Still not a clean studio, but we got big plans. The new camera is here. It's in that brown bag behind me. You just got to get it set up. We have that on the schedule. I'm going to do a little bit of a cleanup behind me, but we're getting there. But before I get too far along, I need to put it out there as a public announcement. We have for Moose Jaw, we have under 35 pairs of tickets left for the Crop Marketing Made Cool conference. All right. I'll put that into a percentage for Friday's show. The reason I say pairs, many of you come as two, right? Many. You don't have to, but we see that quite a bit. So 35 pairs, 70 tickets. Just got another application that came in here today. Actually, tickets were selling today as well. Just letting you know, if you're coming to Moose Jaw over the next, probably between now and the end of September, you're going to want to get your hands on those tickets and come join us for the Crop Marketing Made Cool conference. We again just refining the agenda, waiting for some contracts to come back from some of the speakers, and once we get those, we will start making some formal announcements with some titles of the presentations and things like that. So yeah, exciting times ahead here for crop marketing. All right. I wanted to just for this evening here, I wanted to talk about crop marketing a little bit because the chase is on. Okay. And I was telling this last week in the episode, like I was talking about being an aggressive yellow pea seller here. And you get to that point, right? You get to that point where the price makes that first drop, makes that second drop. Maybe it makes that third drop. And then you're like, all right, well, now this thing's gone down $1. I'm done. I'm not chasing this any further. It's very tricky, but the chase is on. And we've seen it, feed barley, early trains of feed barley. We've seen some, some specials, quote unquote specials out there to try to get some bushels going. You've even seen some of the barley specials influence harvest plans. There's farms now saying, I'm going to go and take this barley off before my wheat, which, because there's a deadline on the barley. And that was really surprising to me because wheat, with the moisture events we're seeing, like a number 1 wheat versus a number 2 versus a number 3. I don't know what that could be worth here in the next month, but I like to go and get my wheat go get that quality, right? And so I was a little surprised to hear a few folks chasing the feed barley and going to grab that before the wheat. Mainly because the feed barley price is like, it's okay, but um, you know, yeah, there was much higher prices a few weeks ago, and I don't know, just doesn't stand out for me. So I was surprised by that. So, anyways, I talked to a buyer here, a veteran buyer, and I I wanted to talk about. I was talking to them about something with a farm I'm working with, and just trying to figure some stuff out. But anyways, I just said like, hey, like, how is it going? Like, from a pea perspective, the area is not full swing yet, and so I'm like, how you doing? And she's like, we have one train bought, and we have another train that's partially bought, but price is sliding. And I said, well, that's okay. If you're still looking for half a train, like, there's a chance your price pops up, and you get a bit of a premium out there to fill those cars. And she kind of said, not really. Like, we're not getting that sense from our merchant group that they're going to come and try to pay up for those cars, or put a special. Or, like, we're not getting that. Price is peeling back. And then she said, we just really don't have the demand. We're not moving the yellow peas that we have moved over the last number of years. Like, we're not seeing that this year. We're just not seeing that demand, all those cars coming in our area. So, that was interesting. That was an interesting comment. I don't think that surprises anybody, tuning in this evening. The yellow pea market, we expected it to be a bit of a grind with the China and the tariff situation on those peas. India, some demand there, but maybe not as much. And I'm even seeing today buyers already. Again, this is an area where harvest is just kind of getting going, saying, "Hey, we're good for yellow peas now. We'd like them in October," like a pulse buyer, you know. And so we want them in October. Set your targets now for October, November, right? So it's already happening. Chase is already on. So, anyways, this buyer that I have a lot of respect for, it's just, well, what about wheat? And she said, well, yeah, we've got some wheat cars coming, and we've got some bought, not enough to fill our cars, but again, just like a narrative around it being quieter on the demand side. Now, I don't know if I'm overthinking this, because I did talk to a different grain elevator, and they've got a different system, and they're going to fill some piles and buy some grain and stuff. Like, they seem to be a bit more gung ho, but I was just a little bit wondering or thinking, is demand a little quieter? Like, if farmers didn't sell, because we know that, right? Everybody knows that the farmers didn't sell much. So, did the merchants not go ahead and make the sales? Did they just sit back and say, hey, well, if they don't want to sell it, we don't want to sell it. Let's just wait and see what happens. I don't know. But from a demand perspective, and for like efficiency and moving grain at harvest time, which is prime time for any grain elevator, that's where they make their money. It just seems quiet. I hope that's just I'm overthinking it, and I hope that there's nothing to that. But it seemed to me, just again, in my area here of Alberta, just kind of quieter. And that, to me, that's not great. That's not great news. Quiet is not good. You want that pull. You want that pull, that grain, getting pulled to Vancouver, getting pulled to Rupert, getting pulled to the coast. Like, you want that. If you're not seeing that, then to me, that's another little bearish signal. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know. I hope I'm overthinking it. I'm going to try to get smarter for Friday's episode. Something I'm going to work on. All right. Okay. Here's the other thing I wanted to say for this evening. You do not like the price of wheat. Okay. And actually, I got a great voicemail this afternoon that I'll address in Friday's episode about wheat for next year. But stay tuned for that. You don't like the price of wheat. Okay. I get it. I don't like the price of wheat either. Okay. So what we're seeing is creative ways from the buyers to get wheat from your farm to their elevator. Okay. And we're talking about, hey, deliver now, grab a basis. You don't have to price it till November 15th. That's like step one. And then it got more creative this week where it was, hey, grab a basis. We'll give you a free roll to March. Hey, price it by February 15th, pay those input bills. And then I got the, hey, haul it in, free storage till X date, and then so many cents per bushel of storage cost, priced by the end of June. Okay. That one to me is probably the one that is slightly more attractive. But if you're going to hold this thing all the way to June at 5 cents a month, or 7 cents a month, or 10 cents a month of storage cost, like you need and then throw interest on there. You know, you need a heck of a bounce here next spring. But that's when it happens. That's when these things happen. Okay. So I have been doing the regrettable. I've been doing something here that you guys are going to cringe when I say this. I've been marketing a bit of wheat. I have been, and I know that marketing wheat right now is like feels like it should be a big no, and that you should be not marketing wheat. But we if we if well, a couple things. If the buyers are successful, if you're taking your wheat from your farm, dumping it on a basis or whatever, play with them. Like, they don't have to be any more creative, any more aggressive. They have the wheat. They just want the wheat, right? And if you give them the wheat, then the bullishness is, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. And then the other thing too is you say, well, Ryan, I'm with you, man. I'm not giving them the wheat on a basis either. I'm locking my bins up. I'm done. I'm going to lock that thing up. I'm going to wait for my rally. Okay, cool. I'll be curious to see what we get for yield and production. But then we're all chasing this thing all winter long together. And what I mean by that is that there's magic numbers out there. And so, like today, my price of wheat in my area is between 750 and 760 a bushel. If you're in southern Alberta, you're 775. My quote today from my buyers was between 640 and 702 for central Saskatchewan. Those are those numbers. Nobody gets excited, but everyone's got an $8 target. But there's magic numbers. So right now you don't like 750. In my region, you're like 750. Take a hike. But if it goes to 7 or 690 or 680, and then they phone in October and say, hey, we got a 750 special, you're going to take that. So then imagine this. We all have our wheat locked in the bins, and we're all trying to fill these 130 cars at a time, 120 cars, and we're waiting for these specials, just like we did this year. But we added $1 to the price compared to where it's at now, right? It was an 8 for many, and 850, 875. I don't know, guys. I don't like that scenario either. I don't like us all locking this stuff up and chasing it down. Wheat marketing in the winter in Western Canada is brutal. Okay, we get the little harvest rally. We get a little something that happens usually right after and tail end of harvest, little thing going on, little rally there. Maybe get a little winter wheat, not enough got planted, less got planted somewhere. You get a little bit of that going on, and then it gets quiet. The Argentina wheat crop, okay. Australia, okay. There's a few things, but it gets quiet. And then it's quiet until late winter next spring. Now, the reason I've been selling wheat, oh man, I can't believe I said that out loud, right? Man, that sucks. Is that we are getting early trains, better basis opportunities today. So we're grabbing that, we're pricing that, and then we are just moving our risk over to our trading account, to the strategy side instead. We're basically saying, all right, 750, darn it, this sucks. I'm losing money, but I'm going to move all this grain in the fall. I'm going to have it gone off my farm. My downside risk is going to be nothing. And then I'm going to fumble around with my strategies, and I'm going to try to turn that 750 into something better, into 825. I feel better about that today than just sitting here saying I'm going to lock the bins up, or I'm going to throw it on a basis with them, or whatever. Like I understand why, folks, but I just wanted to be honest on where I'm coming at, coming from it. So coming from it at, yeah. Anyways, you get the point. All right. What else did I want to say tonight, real quick? I would say from a futures perspective, I think canola, we'd like to be slightly more optimistic right now, but to me, it looks like it's breaking down again here as of August 19th, Tuesday night. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we go and find that harvest low now. It just seems to be wanting to make its way. Wheat futures aren't doing a darn thing. It's very, very quiet. But there is crop here being harvested that will move to market. There will be some farmers selling. That happens. I expect a bit more downside pressure in wheat and to go and score a low here later on this fall. In fact, I had told one farm today, I'm like, imagine you sold at 750. Heaven forbid the market went to 650. And then that's your re-entry point. That's when you decided, hey, all right, I think this is the bottom. I'm going to re-own this thing now. You're not starting at 650, right? You're at 750, and now you're trying to add to that price. So again, folks, maybe it's crazy talk and all that good stuff, but I want to get that out there. What else do I have? Yeah, you know what? I'll save it for Friday. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Tuesday, oh man. See, I got to wrap it up. Tuesday, August 19th, evening edition of the live show of the What the Futures podcast. My name is Ryan, and I'm out.